Hello and welcome. My name is Kim with Lotus Within Yoga, and today we are on day 4 of my 30 Days of Yoga Challenge here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and hit that follow button, subscribe, and I hope to see you on this journey of 30 days of free yoga. Today, my affirmation is I am able to achieve my goals. Now, this being the beginning of 2026, a lot of people like to set that New Year's intention or New Year's resolution. So that's kind of my thought behind this intention. Today, we are going to be working on neck, arms, upper body, and no props are needed. And when you're ready, we'll get started. All right, so let's start with our neck. So what I actually want you to do is, if it's possible, I want you to clasp your hands behind your back. Now, that may not be attainable for everybody, and if that's just not you, don't worry, that's absolutely fine. You can just keep your shoulders back and down, and your arms at your sides. But if you can clasp your hands and bring them over as far over to the right as you can, you're going to then allow your left ear to drop over to the left. Feeling this really nice stretch along the right side of the neck. And from here, you can either play with the angle of your chin. You can have it straight forward. Maybe it drops down to look at your mat. Or maybe you take your chin up to the sky. Just finding that spot for you, that little sticky spot, and just holding there. Continuing nice full inhales and exhales. And again, if you can't hold and clasp your hands behind your back, you're just going to have your hands out to the sides, like so. So whatever variation of the pose works for you. There's no wrong method. One more breath right here. And gently, you can start to bring your head back through center. And now we're going to take our hands and we're going to bring them over to the left side. And drop your right ear over your right shoulder. Keeping lots of space between that left shoulder and your ear. It's quite an intense stretch for me. And if you're just doing this at the beginning of your day, you're probably a little bit tight. And again, you can play with that angle of your chin, whether it feels good to have it pointing down towards your shoulder or maybe upwards. For me, going up doesn't feel very good in my body, so I'm going to listen and just get to that point where you feel the stretch, you feel the lengthening, but not trying to prove anything. There's no yoga Olympics. Leave your ego at the door and breathe. Two more big breaths here, knowing that one side can feel completely different than the other, and that is okay as well. Excellent. Slowly bringing your head back through center. You go ahead and shake out your arms, maybe a couple shoulder rolls. We're just going to do a nice little side body stretch. So we're going to extend the right arm up and over, trying not to cave in towards the mat. You kind of want to think about bringing your shoulder back and creating as much space as you can alongside the right side of your body. One more big breath here. Using your core, your tummy muscles to allow you to bring yourself back up. We're going to allow the right arm to drop and bring that left arm up. Staying connected to your breath. Trying not to roll the shoulders forward. Try and shine your heart to the side of the room, or maybe even a little bit to the sky. You're feeling. Two more breaths here. Wonderful. Use that strong tummy to come back up through center. Let's do a little twist. We're going to take our right hand to our left knee. Left hand comes behind us. Tall spine, crown of head reaches to the top, and then twist. The more length you give to your spine, the easier the twist is. Not forcing yourself. You don't want to jar our spine into any sort of position. Just a nice opening. And on your exhale, you can allow your body to come through center. This time taking your left hand to your right knee. Right hand comes behind you. And twist. Nice tall spine. And on your next exhale, you can come back through center. Let's go onto all fours for a moment. If you have sore knees or anything like that, you can feel free to grab a towel or a blanket and have that underneath your knees, or you can even double up your mat. Just make sure that you're comfortable. And what we're going to actually do is get into our wrist a little bit from here, and we're going to take our hands underneath our shoulders, but this time we're going to walk our fingers and have them pointing towards you. Now, this right here might be completely enough for you. You might be feeling all sorts of feelings into that forearms and down into the palm. But if you're looking for a little bit more, you can start to bring the hips back and maybe peeling the palm of your hand a little bit off of the mat. And breathing. This can be a very intense stretch. If you're a fellow groomer like me, or maybe if you even just work on a computer or drive all day, we don't find that, or at least I don't find that we really do much to stretch out our hands and our forearms, so being intentional about it. And speaking of intentions, maybe repeating that affirmation to yourself of I can achieve my goals. One more deep breath here. And start to come back through center. Excellent. Maybe coming onto your heels for a moment, just doing a little circles. Words escape me. Circles with your wrists. You can go the other way. All right, and this one can be intense, so we're only going to do one hand at a time. But this time we're going to take the back of our hand, pressing it down onto the mat. Again, in that all fours. And maybe right here is absolutely all you need. Or you can see how it feels to start to lean back. You can bend in through the elbow a little bit. Again, it doesn't take a whole heck of a lot of movement here, at least for me and my body. And breathe. Holding your breath is not going to help you. One more breath here. And slowly you come back, sitting on your wrist, sit on your ankles, opening and closing the palms of the hands, moving the blood through, increasing our circulation. I have awful circulation as well, so doing these movements is really helpful for me. All right, let's do that on the other side. So this time taking right palm, or the back of your right hand, sorry, placing it onto the mat. And just seeing how that feels, or maybe starting to extend back. You can bend through the elbow. Just really thinking about taking the back of your fingertips and allowing them to really press into the mat. As we get into this nice opening of the back of our right hand into that wrist. Full inhales, full exhales. Not comparing the two wrists. We don't use our hands usually quite evenly. We don't use anything in our body all that evenly. So one is probably going to feel a whole lot different than the other. One more breath here. Flipping your hand back over. We'll be doing those jazz hands for a minute. You can sit onto your seat. I'm just going to face you for a moment. There's one more that I really like to get into the back of my wrists. So what you can do is you can take both your hands, making fists, and you're going to kind of give yourself a little fist bump. Then you're going to take the back end of your fist bump, the back part of your palm, and you're going to place it onto the mat. So you may even feel it right here, or you can start to extend and straighten those elbows. And I feel that. Staying in the breath. I can achieve my goals. Two more deep breaths right here. Slowly coming out. We're going to do one more for our upper body. Now, sometimes it can be quite intense for some people. If you at any point feel that you need to drop into a child's pose at any point in time, please feel free to do so. But this is really nice to getting into the front line of the shoulders, the back line of the shoulders, and just even down the spine. You may have heard it as called puppy. I like to call it melting heart. That's just my yin background. I'm going to take my glasses off because I don't want to crush them. But let's meet in all fours. We're going to keep our hips over our knees, but we're going to start to walk our hands forward. Keep going until your heart starts to drop down towards the mat. Now, if the mat is too far for your chest, you can grab a block, you can grab a pillow, you can bring the mat closer to you by using props if that feels good for you. And just walking forward, maybe the forehead comes down to the mat. And almost thinking like you're pressing into your armpits, if you could put your armpits flat on the mat. But you really want to make sure that you're not dumping a bunch of weight into your low back. So if you're feeling this into your low back, you might just want to pop into that wide-legged child's pose with their knees wide, toes together, and walking the arms forward. That might be enough for you. But personally, I really, really like this melting heart. And just staying connected to your breath. Maybe if you're looking for a little bit more, you can take your hands into prayer position and then start to bend into the elbows and maybe taking your thumbs to the back of your neck. Only if this feels good for you. It's quite intense into the triceps, so just really listening to the body. You have nothing to prove. One more big breath right here. If you have your elbows bent, you can start to straighten them as you press into the mat and bringing yourself back up. Let's just find a comfortable seat. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for day 4 as we work through different parts of the body, different lengths of classes. I've got yin classes coming. I've got all sorts of different practices of many varying lengths, but you've made it all the way through here to day 4. Congratulations. That's fantastic. I hope you are feeling amazing in your body. Please make a comment, make sure you subscribe, share. Just makes free yoga like this easier to place out into the web worlds for people like you. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, namaste.